This will be interesting, man. This will kind of be a test.
Oh.
Hannah's making noises that make us go, here
comes
Sorry.
Oh. They're panning out now, so they're setting the stage. I don't see a covered car anywhere.
Yeah.
Just so you know. I don't know who this lady is, but they're inviting her up to speak.
Okay.
Oh, just kidding.
Let's go live.
Okay. Well, we are live, so. And we're, as you can guess, we're watching the RCR, or we're watching the NASCAR announcement here for Kyle Busch.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. So this is Ask Junior portion of the show for today's podcast. We got Gregiffle coming in here as our guest, and I know a lot of y'all probably know that. But also in the booth over there, Hannah's watching the live stream for Kyle Busch's announcement. So you guys are going to live this out with us right here on Ask Junior on Dirty Mo's YouTube page. So as that develops, we'll react. But you guys have sent in your questions to Xfinity Racing on Twitter, and let's get to it.
Well, the first one here comes from David Peters. It says, since the announcement of the 23 All-Star race at North Wilkesboro, what other tracks would you like to potentially see revived in the near future?
I don't even know. I thought Metrolina would have been great, but they're never going to bring that one back. There's a building on top of it. I think, I don't know what Rockingham might have left in the tank. I know a lot of people bring that up. It seems like when you talk about Wilkesboro, a lot of people bring up Rockingham as well as a track that could still offer something. And I know there's some efforts and some money, from the state going to that racetrack and that facility. It's a multi-use facility, much like the plan for North Wilkesboro is. And what I mean by that is they have festivals and concerts and holiday events, and it really tries to do a lot of other things outside of racing. And so, that justifies, I think, the future of that facility and that property. But always, people are going to want to have racing there. It needs a new surface, and that would be rather expensive. And I think if it had really, really good asphalt, unlike North Wilkesboro, its asphalt has not survived as well. There's some bigger issues, I think, down in the Turn 1 especially. But, if it had better asphalt or could get a repave, real conversation could be had about what could happen at Rockingham. But, man, outside of that, I don't know. Nothing's popped into my mind about what track I'd like to go try to, figure out how we can get something happening.
If we're talking about tracks that literally are being overgrown but then brought back, which Wilkesboro was just about it, I would say Nazareth.
Nazareth is not happening.
Okay, but we thought the same thing about Wilkesboro.
No. So the guy at Nazareth dug big giant trenches through it, so you can't even drive around it.
Really?
Yeah.
Marcus could do it. Marcus would be our hero.
Yeah.
Come on, Marcus.
I don't like Nazareth.
Well, okay. Okay. We can only talk about tracks that Dale Jr. likes.
That was
you didn't like it because you didn't race well on it? What?
It's a weird shape. It's like an accident.
It's not an accident. You're talking about Andretti, man. It's Andretti's track.
He lives close by.
It's still his track.
Okay.
It's an Andretti track.
All right. Nowhere, isn't it?
What's that?
It's the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
That never stopped NASCAR from
No,
going to a race.
It reminds me a lot of Watkins Glen. It's kind of like there, but it you don't really think, oh, man. When you're at the Glen, you're like, this is amazing. I love where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same vibe there. But I don't know. I guess it was a fun track. I don't know, man. I don't think Nazareth is coming back. Too much damage.
I didn't say it's coming back. That wasn't the question, though.
I don't think it could.
There's a lot of things going on back here.
Yeah, there's a lot of we're monitoring.
What's going on? Are you watching the press conference?
Yep. So Kyle's currently just sitting at the table. He opened the press conference to welcome to the press conference about the announcement that's already been made. So if that's any...
that is a shot at Dale.
And everybody else that was talking about it. Why are you doing that? I don't like that, Mike.
They still haven't run a lone shot. They haven't shown anything. I obviously don't have audio
there's
on.
There's all kinds of other people announcing it yesterday. Jordan Bianchi announced it.
Well, if we're talking about what was talked about yesterday, you beat that.
Oh yeah.
So once I get a picture of the car or something.
I guess right.
We don't know yet.
I mean,
we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
I mean, he may be announcing an NFT. We don't know. Roger Penske.
Did they
just
send
walked
any
in.
other questions to Xfinity Racing on
yes,
Twitter?
yes, we do. We have a couple. So, in light of Bristol being this weekend, Jake the Snake Peterson said, "What was your Bristol walkout song usually? And if you were to still be racing today, what would your song be this Saturday?"
Oh my gosh, that was always a tough thing. Like so I think every driver does this differently. If some of them seem like they could give a crap less, and they just threw something back. Oh, they just answered the email with whatever song, right? And then other people put a lot of time into it. Some people cared so much or cared so little that they would let other people pick their song. I remember
That's funny.
Jimmy and somebody swapped, like, you pick my song, I'll pick yours, as a joke. But, man, I really wanted to put something in there that was going to either fire me up or sort of frame my mood for racing at Bristol. So I always kind of went with something upbeat, fast, and with a lot of energy. I don't even know what I'd put in there today. I'd literally have to go in my phone and dig through about 200 songs to pick one to use.
Do they do themes like this year? We're doing 80s or something like that.
They never do that. You could pick anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
And man,
Half the guys in the field anymore weren't even born in the 80s.
I mean, me either, but
yeah, some of them you were like, what in the hell? Or just didn't match the person, right?
Yeah.
Because you make this assumption of who this guy is. You're racing against him all these years and spending time around him, and then they walk out to a certain song, and you're like, that's the song you picked? Okay.
Like BJ McLeod walking out to Taylor Swift, it wouldn't match.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I always feel like people are surprised when they know Alex Bowman likes like hardcore rock and like that kind of stuff because he just doesn't seem like that guy, and that's always what he plays.
Yeah.
All right, we're still getting developments here, but the next one here comes from Matt Reed. He said, with all of these recent repaves aging like Kansas has, are we approaching the golden age of racing on super speedways or on the speedways?
The car certainly races really good at places like Kansas, but equally concerning how it races on the short tracks. Martinsville was awful. I hope that there's some massive emphasis on trying to make that a different experience for all of us who are going to watch that here in a couple more weeks when we go back to Martinsville. What are we going to see this weekend at Bristol? That'll be interesting as well. I think, though, Martinsville and Bristol, they're so different, being one high banked, one flat. I don't expect that they would produce similar action. So I think we'll be okay this weekend. I'm really worried about Martinsville when we go back there. And I think the drivers are worried about the super speedways even. As concerning as Martinsville was, I don't know that these guys really love the way the car races at Daytona and Talladega and now Atlanta. And there's some conversation about what's going to happen at Texas. Does it become do they kind of fix turn 1 and 2, just kind of revert back to where we were with Texas, which would be probably a good choice? Or do they try to turn Texas into Atlanta too? I think a lot of drivers are very concerned about that because I don't think any of the drivers are want another Atlanta. So there's a lot of conversation about all that and some concern there, but the positive is, yes, this car is really good at the 1.5 miles, which has been the problem or the races we typically have complained about in the past.
Well, now we can react to it officially. Kyle Busch does announce that he's driving the 8
Okay.
at RCR, not the 51, which we had speculated.
I was hoping that it would be the 51 because of his affinity for that number and what he could do with that going forward. But I guess that'll be interesting next year. It's going to be hard to remember that he's not in the 18 anymore after all these years. But
I'm literally laughing at some of these things. First of all, Morgan up there is making fun of your now, or she's actually she's actually taking. Listen, you called it. Let's just say you actually leaked it, but you called it.
Everybody knew this. I was not like way on an island out there with this idea.
Well, so
you were way on an island on announcing it.
I didn't announce it.
The next part of the announcement is still that Tyler Reddick, who's currently in the number 8, still remains under contract and will drive for RCR in 2023.
What?
Is what was just also reported.
That's
so
crazy.
Where's Reddick going? Third car? What's his number?
Yeah.
So that was the next thing.
That is
So now we
wild.
can start speculation of what's going to happen to Reddick.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Hold on, hold on, YouTube. Give us a second here.
Yeah.
I'm processing. Hold on.
I still think the door's open for
I
them
think you're right.
for them to bring him to 2311.
I think
For a
you're right.
buyout.
I feel like that this is just
Formalities and semantics and
they
whatever.
they cannot have this press conference today, announce this with Kyle, and leave and say nothing.
That's right. You're 100%.
And they're not going to say, oh, and by the way, Reddick's going to 2311 and torpedo this announcement of Kyle's, right?
right.
Right?
Right.
And so
I don't like it when people torpedo announcements
yeah,
for Kyle.
right.
Yeah, I love it because Morgan's upstairs
I guess
listening.
I'm not allowed to have any speculation whatsoever.
I'm playing with Hey,
like
it's fun.
Mike forces me to live under a separate set of rules than the rest of society.
Oh, I'm the one.
yeah,
I'm
you're
the one.
You're the only one sitting here complaining about
I'm not, No, I'm not complaining. I'm having fun with it.
Okay.
All right. So wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that though. They can't go sit there and announce that.
Richard just made a joke. He told Kyle to hold my watch
Ah.
and then
funny.
gave him a watch as a signing bonus.
Nice.
I like what Corey LaJoy tweeted. He said, if Kyle doesn't start the press conference with, I'm taking my talents to welcome, then he goes, I'm turning it
Then
off.
I'm turning it off.
I like that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, one more.
Alrighty. Keeping on trend with, on the Bristol trend, it says, what aspect of Bristol makes it so popular with drivers? Is it the banking, the size, the atmosphere? And would there be a possibility that you think we should replicate it in another market, such as Los Angeles?
Oh yeah, I've said that for a long time. So I think that Bristol is badass, and for probably the last 25 years, I've asked why they haven't tried to recreate this somewhere else, especially on the West Coast where we've wanted to grow our series and grow our platform or our footprint. And I think that if you take the best product you have to those markets where you're trying to introduce yourself to new fans. And I felt like, so if you're going to buy a ticket, you've never been to a race, right? You're going to go to your very first race. I could send you to anywhere, and you were probably going to have a pretty good time. But I know that you'll love a Bristol night race. That's never going to sell. That's never going to fall short. You're going to walk out of there every time going, where do I go next? All right? Not, I might go back or I might go see another one. You're going to be asking, what's the next race I need to see? That was awesome. And so I was wondering for years, like, why haven't we tried to take that racetrack and that sort of build instead of these 1.5 miles we tried to take everywhere across the country? This is a smaller stadium. Like, this is a smaller footprint. It seems like this would be easier to take other places. And, yeah. But we kind of, we took the Coliseum. We had the Coliseum, right, with the Clash. So we did get some short track racing and some beating and banging, some physicality out there in front of the West Coast fans. But man, I think if we took Bristol there, it would succeed big time.
Perfect. Well, that is it for this week's Ask Junior. And like you guys had mentioned, we have Gregiffle coming on, whose limo actually ran out of gas on his way here.
Yeah, he texted me and he said, should I drive my limo? I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. And he says, Roger is on his way. I guess that's the name of his Boss Hog limo.
Yeah.
But it's now out of
wow.
gas.
But it's out of gas.
Wow.
So he sent a picture. It's actually on Twitter as well. His Boss Hog limo is on the side of the road because he ran out of gas.
Well, that gives us time to give Dale another piece of information on this announcement. So I'm going to read Bob's tweet right here.
Okay. Oh, great.
Keep us live.
Yep.
Randall Burnett is here as crew chief for the number 8 car for Kyle Busch. Sponsors
Wow.
are TBD. Childress says that he told Tyler Reddick this morning that he will not drive the number 8 car, and they still have a contract for next year.
Yeah.
So there you go. He said he just told him an hour ago, actually.
Richard also called Brexton Busch up on the stage and gave Brexton a contract to eventually drive for RCR.
Oh, wow.
So whatever context that holds,
That's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool.
So, yeah, I mean, good for Kyle. And we finally understand where he's going to be, where he's going to land. And what to expect from him next year. He's getting in a car that's been very good this year.
Yeah.
I think that he can take that program, make it even better.
Yeah.
And this all, I think, in a way benefits Austin Dillon as well to have a great teammate. He had a good one with Reddick. He'll have another good one with Kyle to be able to lean on, to be able to have fast cars. So, yeah.
Let's assume for a second that Tyler Reddick is going to actually stay at RCR, like Richard is saying.
We'll assume that.
A 3-car team: Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon. Pretty stout right there, man. That's not bad at all. That's a hell of a response by RCR, considering a month or two ago they were like, "This is worst timing for this announcement that Tyler's leaving." Man, that's a pretty stout team, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's going to be interesting to see if that really happens. If Reddick stays and they don't end up, he don't end up getting his deal done early and going a year early. To
what an
23-11.
environment that would be, though. Like, I feel like that wouldn't be, like, personally as a driver, like, to get your number shuffled, your crew chief shuffled, you're leaving at the end of the next year, like, you're now the 3rd car on the roster. Like, mentally, that can't be good as a driver, right? I mean, let's just say that he does stay there, and Denny says, I can't get you out of your contract till the end of next year.
I think he already had his mind wrapped around that possibility because, he was going to stay there, and then, they go and hire Kyle to come there next year. So I think he already had kind of knew he might be there for another year, and that was going to kind of be what they call that lame duck year or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't think he runs a Daytona 500 for RCR and Chevrolet. I just don't think that they have interest in doing that now.
Yeah.
Now that they got Kyle and they can move forward, they're trying. Maybe they sell out the rest of his contract or something. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, that is it for this week on Ask Junior.
Yeah, I guess if I just hired Kyle. And you got Austin, and I got a contract in hand to have Reddick. Somebody's paying me some money for that contract.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That might be helping fund Kyle.
I'm not letting this guy. I'm not letting this guy walk away and just tearing up that last year. Somebody's going to spend more money to get that done.
That's right. That's just called leverage.
Yeah.
That's what this is, which would explain why you say that today.
Yeah, that's called business.
That's business.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, but don't give away that leverage.
No.
I mean, that's you're right about that. All right.
All right. Thank you, Xfinity. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in. That was kind of fun, man. Maybe we could do some more stuff like that where we're kind of live during something playing out in the industry and being able to react to it in live time. Thanks for all the questions you guys sent to Xfinity Racing on Twitter. And thanks to Xfinity for everything they do for us, man. They provide us some great service. I'm a customer. I enjoy it. And I hope you will, too. Try out their Xfinity X5. If you have some issues with your service, that'd be a good one to switch to.
There you go. All right.